Alright guys, let's talk about The Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1. No, I am not a prequel hater. So, I just refuse to jump on the bandwagon of hating the prequels just because that's the cool thing to do now. You know, when I went and saw the prequel, Phantom Menace, in theaters, uh, there was so much hype for it, and, no one said anything bad about the movie at the time. Of course, now people like to go back and pick it apart and talk about all the negative things, but they kind of overlook the positive things that everybody loved when the movie originally came out. So you're going to get my honest opinions on these movies, and no, I'm not a prequel hater, so if you love to hate on the prequels, you're probably not going to like these reviews. But if you're like me and like parts of the prequels, then you might like this honest review. Just a real quick, I am a 90s kid, so I grew up watching the special editions right before the Phantom Menace came out. So I didn't have that much time between movies, which may have affected my opinion, I guess. Also, because I also don't hate the special editions like everybody does. There are a few things about them, that I don't like. I mean, Han not shooting first is kind of weird, but overall, let's talk about The Phantom Menace. So I just recently rewatched this movie on Blu-ray for this review, and I watched it with my daughter, who's 10 years old, to give you some background on it. And the opening scene with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan on the Trade Federation ship is really awesome in my opinion. I mean, it starts off, you get an awesome look at these two new Jedi, powerful Jedi. I mean, when Obi-Wan is pushing that lightsaber through the door, and Newt Gunray and the other Trade Federation guys in there, and you can tell they are scared. I mean, if they get through that door, and they almost do, it's done. And I just think that whole scene where they're fighting the droids is an awesome start to the movie. And then they go down on Naboo. They end up going down with the army, and everybody's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks, is there. Now, listen, I don't like Jar Jar Binks very much either, but as I said, I watched this with my 10-year-old daughter, and guess who she said her favorite character was after the film ended? Jar Jar Binks. And every time I kept looking over at her, every time Jar Jar would make a silly noise or do something goofy, trip over something, she just thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. So, keep in mind, Jar Jar Binks is not for adults. He is, he's supposed to be silly. He's for kids. So, sure, he's goofy. And do they focus on him too much in this movie? Yes. Guess what? They fixed that later on. George Lucas actually listened. We didn't have Jar Jar Binks very much in the next two movies. But you gotta look at it. He's for kids. He's not for us. Too much of him, but it's not the end of the world, alright? After we go to the Gungan City and all that stuff, we end up in Naboo. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon rescue Queen Amidala, and they end up stranded on Tatooine. Now listen, we get to see Anakin Skywalker as a young boy, played by a child actor. There's not a whole lot of good child actors, alright? Especially when you feed them some of the dialogue that George Lucas, is not that great at. For me, he does a serviceable job. There's nothing wrong with Anakin in this. Is he a little goofy? Does he say some corny stuff every once in a while? Yeah, but he's not that bad. And, I thought he's pretty dang serviceable. Then we get to the pod racing. The pod racing scene is incredible. Some people do still quote pod racing scene is one of the better parts of the movie. It is the sound, okay? All the different types of pod races, all the different types of species, the race itself, everything about it is so cool. When you put this on, watch this with some, a good surround sound, and when those pods go zooming past you, the whole house shakes. It's so awesome. Still holds up today. It's one of the best scenes of the movie. Then, after the pod races, we go to Coruscant. And a lot of people complain here that it's too much politics. This isn't Star Wars. It's too boring. Wah, wah, wah. I find it pretty dang interesting because we also get to see the Jedi Council, and you can tell they're a little apprehensive about Qui-Gon taking on Anakin as his Padawan. And we get to see the Emperor making some devious moves right at the beginning. You know, what his thoughts are. It's not that bad, and it's pretty quick. Then we get to our third act, okay? There's three main things going on in this third act, okay? Two of them are pretty cool. One of them, not so much. You know, we get the battle between the Gungans and the droids, okay? I think this battle is pretty cool. I love the Gungan shield that they use. The visuals here, I think, are a little dated because at the time I'm sure that it looks great, but now it doesn't look that great. And we get a little Jar Jar goofiness in the battle, which I guess some people hate on, but didn't really bother me. Okay? That's one main part of the third act. We get Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Darth Maul lightsaber battle. I remember being in the theater and seeing this and being blown away. The score by John Williams, amazing. The battle, I don't care what anybody says, that is one of the best lightsaber battles ever. It's so well done. The end, okay, spoiler alert, the end where Darth Maul gets cut in half, where Qui-Gon dies and Obi-Wan, you can see the pain. It's an awesome fight scene. It is the best scene in the movie, and I mean, I don't think anybody hates on that scene. You know, some people say that's the only good part of the movie. Then our other act, which this is the part the scene that I don't like very much. I mean, it's okay, but it's Anakin flying up with the fighters trying to take down the Trade Federation droid control ship. Yeah, it is kind of goofy, and he basically accidentally destroys the droid army. But I could see what Lucas is going for, because some of the flight scenes and stuff are really cool, and you see more of that in the later episodes. But if another adult character, you know, or at least more depth to some of the adult fighter pilots, then we will probably be singing a different tune. But it's I don't know. Focusing on having Anakin go up there and do that is kind of silly. Then that's it. That's the movie, folks. As a whole, you know, besides Jar Jar and a little bit of bad dialogue, I don't see anything wrong with this movie. It's enjoyable. Is it the best movie ever? No. Is it complete garbage and doesn't deserve the Star Wars name? No. People are crazy. I mean, it's just a fun thing to do. It's fun and cool to hate on the Star Wars movies. I don't get it. Maybe it's because I was a child when I watched these movies, or maybe it's because I watched it with my child and she enjoyed it. I don't know. I just don't get all the hate about this movie. I know I'm a rambler here, but I am going to give this movie a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. It's worth a watch.